Hi there, welcome back. I was looking around our own website, this website, just the other day, and it occurred to me that there's not that much on our website about what we stand for, what we're about. I don't know if you've seen the TED talk by Simon Sinek, the one where he talks about the reason that people buy from you is not so much the what you do, but it's the why you do it. And I don't think there's much of the why, on our website. So I thought I might put that right now with a very short video blog that explains our why. For a long time, we've been totally passionate about improving the quality of leadership and management capability everywhere, right across the globe. We're based in the UK, so we're kind of starting there, but really our work does take us into all the corners of the world. And it's so important to us to do this because we have a vision of a day when the employees, wherever they work, are getting the leaders and managers they deserve. That's a bit long-winded, so if I just abbreviate it, what I've said is that what drives us is, and what is our passion, is improving the quality of leadership capability everywhere. And we're not going to rest until we see a day when employees get the leaders and the managers they deserve. Now, we've chosen that last section very carefully. It is, in effect, it's our vision, but it's interesting because we recognize that there's a spectrum of employees from the very best to the not very good. And when we talk about employees getting the leaders and managers they deserve, what we really mean is that if you're a fantastic employee, you show up on time, you do a fantastic day's work, you always meet your objectives, you're generally nice to be around, you're a good team worker, you're a very good contributor, customers love you, etc. When you're that kind of an employee, you deserve the very best leadership and management capability that there is, right? But it's not the case. Very often those employees are kind of left to get on with it. They're almost taken for granted, and that's not good. But it happens. And then if you go to the other end of the spectrum where, they're not so good, they're not showing up on time, they're not meeting their objectives, they are generally unreliable, perhaps not even that trustworthy, they don't contribute a lot, they're not a great team player, they're not that great to be around, customers don't particularly enjoy working with them, etc., etc. Now, when you're looking at that kind of employee, that's not good, and they need a different style of management or leadership, and that's not happening either. Sadly, the world seems to be littered with examples of where those guys are just kind of taken for granted, and these guys are just ignored or brushed under the carpet, and it's all to do with the quality of leadership and management capability. So that's what we're about. We're about improving that. I think in terms of the old 1 Minute Manager book by Ken Blanchard. Those of you who know that book will know that it's very simple premise. It starts with setting goals, and then you're praising people when they achieve those goals, or you're reprimanding them if they fail. And obviously there's a step between goal non-achievement and reprimand. You need to do the diagnostics and a proper investigation, etc. But it's pretty much that simple. And that's the kind of leaders and managers that I believe in. They're not very common, and that's why we do what we do. Right, this is something that I don't normally do. I'm going to recommend a book to you. Now, this book is right up there in my experience. There have been a number of seminal texts that have impressed me in my lifetime, in working life. One of them was Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Then there's the famous Dale Carnegie book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Much later, there was the book by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of highly effective people. Another seminal text for me is The Road Less Travelled by M. Scott Peck. And some of you are fans of Tony Robbins. Anthony Robbins wrote the book Awaken the Giant Within. I'm a fan of some biographies like Jack Welch, Straight from the Gut, Winning, etc. But really, this is the first book I've ever recommended, certainly on a video, and it's called Principles, and it's by a guy called Ray Dalio. I can assure you I'm not benefiting or profiting from mentioning this guy's book, but it's a fantastic book on leadership principles, leadership and management principles. Some of you may know who Ray Dalio is. If you don't, I encourage you to Google him. He's pretty interesting. And what he's done is he's built a fantastic business up over the years. It's a hedge fund business, so he's not a trainer or facilitator or coach by training. And some of the writing is it's kind of naive if you're in our world, the learning and development world, but what he writes about, I think, is from the heart, and it is so interesting to read. And I really recommend it. So once again, that's Ray Dalio's book, Principles. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching, as ever. There is a full transcript that you can find next to the video, and I do invite you to comment. That's what those boxes are for underneath. Really interested in your feedback about this video or any other aspect of our website. See you soon.